Hi! So, when I was building a perimeter, I wanted some basalt for the ground. And to get large quantities of basalt, of course, it's going to take a large machine to make basalt. So, I took to the internet and looked for designs and found no one had really done an insane TNT Juba basalt farm, except Ilmengo did for his survival thing. But he never included a world download or a schematic, and I tried to build it block by block, but the honey mechanism did not work, so I basically had to take all of the principles that he used and apply them in my current version of Minecraft. I've been testing this in 1.16.5. The math says that it'll be about 250,000 items per hour. I have not used Carpet Mod to actually measure that, but it's pretty efficient. There is a world download and a schematic file in the description for use with Lightmatica. There's a little bit of item loss because sometimes you get stuff like this where items will stick around there and then get blown up by the TNT and not fall. But yeah, I'll show it in action. Just flip that lever there, which realistically you only need to control it from here. Yeah. Now the entities behave really, really weirdly here at the honey. I don't know why, but they it works perfectly on server side. Like, obviously, they are getting hung up at the honey, but client side, they're drifting all the time. It's really weird. This farm operates on the principle of when you push blocks in, the moment they're being pushed, if they are being pushed at the same time as the TNT blows up, their blast resistance actually goes down. So if you were to upset the timing of the pistons, that would prevent the basalt from being blown up as efficiently. Of course, the items fall down onto this shifting platform here, which uses a really, really clever mechanic of just items falling on different blocks of different height, till they get to this central position, where they'll then be taken away into storage by honey and slime blocks. That's just what I have. So there's about 15 of these in a row. These are double speed hoppers, so this hopper pushes items into the hopper below it during one hopper cycle, and then the hopper below it also pulls an item from the hopper. It's a really, really fun concept, and that deposits into the chests, obviously. I should mention, of course, this is not entirely necessary. If you really wanted, you could just remove this whole thing and just rely on the items dropping from above and just collect them by hand and stuff them into chests if you want. If any items tend to overflow, I'll have them just go into the cactus. But as long as the chests don't fill up, then there should never be a time when that actually gets to there. As long as you've got adequate storage. But you don't really need storage because this thing is just so dang fast. You don't need these slime blocks here to power the whole thing. This is just what I have, because when I build it in my world, I would like to come into this room with all of the block storage. Oh, hello. And then and just flip the lever to toggle the farm on and off. Unlike Ilmengo's design, I think, I'm using a comparator fader to switch on and off the shifting platform. So when I turn this off, you'll notice the fader will start to fade away, and the items will all be transported into the item transport system, and there are absolutely no leftovers. Just because that's how I do things. So I'll prepare this for a schematic, which will be in the description, and a world download. And it'll probably look exactly like this. I actually turned it off at the perfect moment. But when you do build it, if you're not familiar with how dupers work, you will have to, don't mind that, you will have to build it in a specific way. I don't know why the minecart's here now. That's a bit strange. But anyway, you will build it, and this'll be this way in the schematic. You'll sort of build it like this, where it'll be completely disconnected, but upon the first operation, this will push the thing in there. I believe Bud the TNT is the correct term. Not gonna lie, I hardly know how these things work myself, but I know that they do. And yeah, that'll basically mean that when you do switch it on, the first push will not explode any TNT, but that'll happen. This is a good demonstration, actually, because right here we've got an example of if the basalt gets pushed out too far, and this won't happen the first time you run this machine and you don't have a load of basalt here, this shouldn't happen. But when that happens and the basalt has not been pushed whilst the TNT is exploding, then it'll be really hard to do the thing. Actually, I've given a really horrible example because now this has gone out of whack as well. There's some really weird behavior with lava flow. Sometimes if you upset it, then the blocks won't update correctly or something, I don't know. I'll mention as well that these all have to be lava source blocks for some reason. I found that by just placing one lava here and letting it flow, whilst technically it should be able to flow in there, and in fact it has enough space to even flow out this way as well, for some reason it doesn't always generate basalt if it's not all lava source blocks. I have no idea what's happening there. It's just a very strange quirk of the game. And you'll see that every single time you start the machine up, it'll always be synchronized, due to the fact that this is a counter here that basically waits for 4 pulses here before it ever gives a pulse to this, which is really nice. TNT, of course, gets launched into these honey blocks, which slides down, explodes items. I've already shown off the thing. The slime pusher here is activated by these pistons moving. So I've put some observers there that just sort of go into there and make that piston extend, and then that one as well. So this clock up here is at 10 ticks exactly, which means that these will always be synchronized up based on this one specific clock, and it's important that that happens so that these are pushing the blocks inwards as the TNT explodes, as Ilmengo described in his video. When you are building this, and like say for instance you're building this, and of course you're doing all of your... I'm trying to get to a point where... There we go. If you are building this and you happen to activate anything, it's not a problem at all. Due to these being note blocks, like this is for a practical reason, it is so that the note block can power this repeater, but also you can just right click on that and it'll bring this down. It's very important that the first time that you run this is down, and that one's down as well. If they are up like this, then it won't be synchronized correctly, so you need to make sure that that's down, and then at the same time you also need to make sure that these 2 blocks are also in the down position, so that as soon as you turn it on, the TNT will be duped immediately, and then the timing will be just so that these push into the middle exactly as the TNT explodes, so that the blocks have that lower blast resistance and don't clog up the machine. So that's really neat. And if you ever do want to play with the how many ticks it's got, there is of course another note block there that you can right click that'll give a pulse to everything. So you can even take this farm step by step if you really want it. But this 10 tick clock will make it run as fast as lava will flow. On that, it is important to build this in the nether, because this relies on how quick lava flows in the nether. In the overworld, it will not work at all, in fact, with that clock up there. As Elmengo showed in his survival challenge series, this will work if you just mirror it over. Literally all you need is that clock there. You can switch this on and off however you like. All that's important is that this clock gets activated. Then it's also very important that you pay attention to the timing of the pulse that gets sent this way, because that is what the farm relies on. And yeah.